What if a modern aircraft disaster wasn't caused by a mechanical failure, but by something far more human? A routine flight in Argentina turns into one of the country's most shocking aviation disasters. Investigators uncover a deeply disturbing truth inside the cockpit, and one survivor refuses to stay silent, challenging an entire system. Narrator pauser. Quote incoming Marisa Beo, survivor, once said, "I started asking why it had happened." Narrator resumes subscribe for more update, and today we are going to understand exactly what that meant. To understand how everything went wrong, we need to go back to that night in Buenos Aires. It was August 31st, 1999. LAPA Flight 32142 was scheduled to fly from Buenos Aires to Cordoba, a short domestic journey of just over an hour. On board was a Boeing 737 carrying 95 passengers and crew. At the time, Argentina's aviation industry was expanding rapidly. New airlines were emerging, competition was growing, and air travel was becoming more accessible. Everything about this flight seemed routine. Passengers were relaxed. The weather was clear. The crew was experienced. But within minutes, that ordinary evening would turn into a tragedy that would shock an entire nation. And the reasons behind it would be far more unsettling than anyone expected. At first, nothing seemed unusual, but subtle warning signs were already there. Picture this, it is 8:30 p.m. at Jorge Newbery Airport in Buenos Aires. Passengers are settling into their seats. Some are chatting, others are flipping through magazines. Among them is Marisa Beo, traveling with colleagues after a long business trip. For them, this was simply a journey home. The mood inside the cabin is calm, even cheerful, but small details begin to stand out. Marisa notices something unusual. There is no safety card in her seat pocket. It is a small thing, easy to ignore. But she doesn't ignore it. Nearby, the cockpit door is partially open. Inside, the crew appears relaxed, almost too relaxed. Now, at first, none of this seems alarming. But in aviation, small details matter. Everything. Moments later, the aircraft begins to taxi. The engines power up. The plane moves into position. Clearance is given. And then, the takeoff begins. At first, everything feels normal. The aircraft accelerates down the runway, faster and faster, building the speed needed to lift into the air. But then, something changes. The aircraft struggles. It lifts briefly, but almost immediately drops back down. Passengers feel it. A sudden shake, an unnatural movement. Something is wrong, very wrong. Inside the cabin, tension rises instantly. People brace themselves. The aircraft continues forward, unable to climb properly. And then, in a matter of seconds, it crosses the end of the runway. Beyond that point, there is no room left. The aircraft continues forward, into a nearby road, into surrounding infrastructure. What follows is chaos. Emergency responders rush to the scene. Smoke fills the area. Survivors struggle to escape. Marisa finds herself trapped, disoriented, injured, surrounded by extreme heat. She cannot release her seatbelt. Time feels like it is slipping away. And then, something happens. She later describes it as something she cannot fully explain. A moment where her seatbelt suddenly releases, and she hears a voice telling her to get out. Against all odds, she escapes, but many others do not. The scale of the tragedy becomes clear. Lives were lost both on board and beyond the aircraft's path. For Argentina, this was not just an aviation incident, it was a national shock. A moment that left people asking a single question: how could this happen? But the real mystery wasn't just what happened, it was why it happened. What happened next shocked even the experts. Within minutes, investigators arrive at the scene. Their job is clear: find answers. They begin with the basics. Was it an engine problem? They examine the wreckage carefully. The engines show clear signs of functioning at the time of impact. So, it wasn't that. Then they notice something unusual: the wing flaps. Now, here is where it gets interesting. Flaps are essential during takeoff. They help generate lift, allowing the aircraft to leave the ground at lower speeds. Without them, takeoff becomes extremely difficult, and in this case, the flaps were not extended. Think about that for a moment. A fully loaded aircraft attempting to take off without one of its most critical configurations. But investigators are not done yet. They recover the black boxes, the flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder. These devices hold the key to understanding exactly what happened. Due to damage, the data must be analyzed internationally. When the results come back, they confirm something critical. The aircraft systems were functioning, the engines were working, the controls were operational, and yet, the configuration for takeoff was incorrect. Even more surprising, the warning systems had activated. There was an alarm, a loud, persistent alarm designed to alert the crew that something was wrong, and still, the takeoff continued. Now, you might be wondering, how is that even possible? If the aircraft systems were working and warnings were active, then what went wrong inside the cockpit? Remember what we discussed earlier? Those small signs before takeoff? This is where it all connects. Investigators turn to the cockpit voice recorder. What they hear is unexpected. Instead of focused communication, they hear casual conversation, personal topics, jokes, discussions unrelated to the flight, even as critical procedures are being carried out. Now, in aviation, there is a rule called the sterile cockpit rule. It requires complete focus during key phases like taxi, takeoff, and landing. No distractions, no unrelated conversations, because even a small lapse can have serious consequences. But here, that rule was not followed. Checklists, which are essential for safety, were interrupted. Steps were skipped. Procedures were not completed properly, and one of those steps was extending the flaps. Then comes the most critical moment, the alarm. It sounds clearly in the recording, loud, continuous, impossible to miss. It continues for over 30 seconds. Think about that, 30 seconds. In aviation, that is an eternity. And yet, the crew does not respond appropriately. They acknowledge the sound, but they do not act on it. The takeoff continues. This is the part most people never hear about. It was not a sudden failure. It was a series of small decisions, small distractions, small missed steps. That added up to a catastrophic outcome. And this single moment changed everything. But this wasn't just about one flight crew. It pointed to something much bigger. So the real question is, how did this happen at a deeper level? Investigators begin looking beyond the cockpit. They examine training records. The captain had years of experience, but there were prior concerns, issues with discipline, response, and procedural accuracy. These concerns had been noted before. And yet, he continued flying. Now, this is based on publicly available information and is presented here purely for educational awareness. At the same time, the airline itself was undergoing rapid expansion, more routes, more aircraft, more crews. But growth can come with risks. Oversight becomes harder. Standards can slip if not carefully maintained. Investigators begin to see a pattern. It was not just individual behavior, it was a system under strain. Training processes, supervision, regulatory oversight, all of these played a role. Legal proceedings follow. Airline executives and oversight authorities face scrutiny. Questions are raised about responsibility. But in the end, accountability remains limited. And for many, that raises even more questions. Because when something like this happens, responsibility is rarely simple. It is layered, complex, and often uncomfortable. And for one survivor, these failures weren't just systemic, they were deeply personal. Marisa Beo survived, but survival was only the beginning of her journey. She faced a long recovery, physical and emotional. For months, she was unable to fully process what had happened. But when she did, she started asking questions. Why did this happen? Could it have been prevented? She began researching, following reports, looking for answers. And what she found was difficult to accept. The tragedy was not caused by a single failure. It was the result of human decisions, missed steps, and systemic gaps. She chose to speak out, to represent those who could not, to push for accountability, even when the legal outcomes did not fully reflect the scale of the event. But her efforts were not without impact. Over time, changes were made, improvements in training, stronger emphasis on cockpit discipline, better awareness of human factors in aviation, because ultimately, the goal of any investigation is not just to understand the past, It is to improve the future, and here is the thought to carry with you. Even in systems built on precision and technology, human behavior remains at the center, and understanding that is essential to preventing the next tragedy.